Everything begins with your mindset and beliefs. And if you can control your beliefs, you can control everything. What's up guys? Today we are going to have a nice little chat about limiting beliefs. And with 2021 coming up, or perhaps you're watching this in 2021, you probably want to transform yourself or level up in one way or another. And guys, any sort of transformation always has to begin with my favorite word, your mindset. So today I'll be sharing 3 limiting beliefs that a lot of people unfortunately have. And the thing with these things is that most of it is subconscious. But first, before we go into all of that, let's define what exactly a limiting belief actually is. The definition of a limiting belief is a belief about yourself, about others, or about the world that is limiting you in some way. Think of it as like a cage that your mind kind of puts over yourself, except it's an invisible cage, so you're not exactly consciously aware of it most of the time. And unfortunately, a lot of our limiting beliefs were conditioned into us by whether it's like our parents, friends, society, social media, television, whatever it is. A lot of stuff comes at us, and our subconscious is what absorbs all of that. And unfortunately, a lot of that is garbage. So I'm sorry to break it to you, but a lot of the stuff that we absorb is shit. So this is my little attempt to suck out some of that shit from our minds and level up our beliefs so that we can become better people. Now you may be wondering, Meg, what exactly is an example of a limiting belief? Well, you are gonna hear 3 very common ones, but first, before we do that, I wanna tell you about a limiting belief that you may be having right at the moment that you are watching this video. Subconsciously, you may be thinking, this is just gonna be another one of those self-development videos that I watch, or I'm just watching this video to support my friend Meg, and I'm not actually gonna learn anything from it. And then after this, I'm just gonna return back to whoever I was, and I don't need to change because I'm a good human being and that's just who I am. No. If you do have that subconscious belief, I want you to pause this video right now and make yourself believe this. You are going to watch this whole video with a completely open mind, and you're going to think about how these concepts and beliefs apply to yourself as a person. And then after you're done the video, you're going to be able to change or improve some or one aspect of yourself. I know the idea of change is scary, but that is the key to a growth mindset, is to be open to change and constant improvement, which is what I try to do literally every single day. Sometimes I literally cringe at who I was like a week ago. It happens all the time actually. So continue watching this whole video with an open mind and just see what you can learn from these concepts here. So the first limiting belief that you may have is that happiness only comes from external stuff, like external validation, money, Instagram likes, people liking you, success, getting a great job, all those typical things. And it's so unfortunate that literally the media and school and everything has conditioned us to believe that those are the defining things of happiness. For example, you go on social media and you see that the happiest people are the super rich and good looking hot people that are traveling all around the world and have a shit ton of friends and a mansion and a Ferrari. Or you go to school and then newsletters and teachers and your friends and everything tells you that in order to be happy, you have to get that amazing job at that humongous company. Otherwise, you're a piece of shit. That's not true. And this limiting belief sounds so freaking ridiculous when I say that out loud, but you'd be surprised how many people truly do have this subconscious belief. And if you do, it's okay. It's not your fault. And I mean, it is easy to get fooled. It is true that landing an awesome job, making a lot of money, owning a lot of things, looking hot, getting a lot of Instagram likes, all that stuff will make you feel pretty happy. But here's the key. That can't be your only source of happiness, because if your happiness is reliant upon these types of external things, you cannot control your happiness. And that is a big freaking problem, because in a snap, everything can disappear. What happens if you go broke one day? What happens if you lose that job? What happens if blah, 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 blah? You're basically crushing your happiness on things that you can't even control, and that's a very dangerous belief. So in order for y'all to level up and become a happier version of yourself, I want you to believe this instead. Shift your happiness into things that you can control. True happiness comes from internal things. And this is gonna sound pretty cheesy, and this is your dose of cheesy Meg for the day, but true lasting happiness should come from within. Remember that. For example, I'm sure you may know the fact that some of the poorest families and people in the world are actually living the happiest lives, and some of the richest people in this world are the most depressed. It is not an unknown fact. And the difference between them is that those so-called poor families, and by the way, I wouldn't even call them poor because being happy is one of the richest things that you can possibly have, they attributed their happiness to things that they can't control. For example, spending time with their loved ones and their family, giving to other people, soaking up the sunshine, being grateful, and just overall living a truly fulfilled life. And that's why they're happy. Whereas these people that are stinking rich and have all the signature material things that are supposed to make you happy, they're unhappy, because when you associate your happiness with those material things that you can't control, you're gonna constantly want more. Okay, you make $100,000, where's my next $100,000? Okay, you got a cool big mansion, what about buying another mansion so I can one up my neighbor? That's like a constant rat race and is not helpful. Instead, look internally. Do what makes you happy that you can control. Self-care is one of the happiest things that you can do that you can control. Spending time with your family and loved ones, being grateful, gratitude journaling, giving more and helping other people, doing your creative passions, fulfilling your purpose. All those sound a little bit fluffy, but the key here is that whatever happiness means to you is very specific to you. So do that digging, find that source of happiness and leverage that, because that's a thing that no one can ever take away from you. I know this is so cheesy, but this is so true, and I want y'all to remember that and know that. You might be saying, what's wrong with being happy with having lots of money? What's wrong with having lots of friends? And what's wrong with having a lot of Instagram likes? I'm not saying that it's wrong, but here's the thing. It shouldn't be your main source of happiness. It's okay to let those things make you happy. It's good to celebrate those achievements as well. At the end of the day, those kinds of things are still achievements, and you should certainly be proud of yourself for those. But remember that if you ever do get stripped away from all of that, you still need to have an internal source of happiness, and you still need to have a purpose that no one can take away from you. So that's what I want you guys to get away from this first limiting belief. All right, now let's talk about limiting belief number 2, which is you believe that you're an unlucky person if bad things happen to you. Now, I'm not targeting you. I'm just saying that some people have this belief. So what this can look like is gets rejected from a job, it's because unlucky person, has shitty friends, unlucky person, failed at making their first business, unlucky person, lost their wallet, unlucky person, invested in the wrong stocks, unlucky person, did badly on a group project, unlucky person. The list can go on and on and on for ages, and you see the issue with this kind of belief that when bad things happen it's just bad luck is that it's preventing the person from developing a growth mindset, because it's way easier for us to blame negative things that happen to us on other things such as other people, other circumstances, or just plain bad luck, but it's harder for us to look at ourselves and see how we contributed to that kind of outcome. And again, this prevents growth. This prevents the growth mindset, because with this kind of belief, the person will never look at themselves and see how they themselves can actually become better and improve situations. And secondly, this kind of belief will make the person constantly just bitter and just overall not a very fun person to be around. So if you are one of those people who catches yourself thinking, oh man, I'm so unlucky, I always attract bad luck, or bad things always happen to me, it's actually because of your mindset. So if you do think like this, I want you to have this belief instead. You can create your own luck. Luck is created. Now, I genuinely believe that the luckiest people in the world who have the things that you want, or are successful, or are the happiest, actually created that kind of luck themselves. Because when you have an open mind and you're willing to look inward, first of all, you aren't afraid to admit a fault. Second, you're constantly seeking to grow. And third, you automatically attract good people and good things into your life. So when you have a shift in mindset, the better stuff automatically comes to you as a result. It's just like the concept of good karma. Plus, you also identify opportunities easier, and it's just, you know, everything just kind of falls into place when you have that kind of mindset. And yes, of course, luck is a thing. Sometimes unlucky things do happen to people, but it all depends on how you frame it. I like to think of it as anything can kind of be a blessing in disguise. Like, I got rejected from something, or something I tried out, failed, didn't work. I see this as a learning opportunity. I see this as a blessing in disguise. So it's all about the way that you frame things and the way that you kind of morph your mindset and change the way that you approach situations. So this belief is all about what you believe when negative things come into your life, and I hope that this one resonates and that it sticks with you. Create your own luck. You got this. Now, the final and last limiting belief that I want you guys to leave behind in 2020 and never have is the belief that when you do something good, you expect the universe or someone or something to give you something back in return. Now, this kind of belief is very, very much subconscious, and it's hard to actually be aware of it. But unfortunately, many times when we do good things, do we catch ourselves, expecting them to give us something back in return? Do we expect a favor back? In other words, do you see things as transactional? And the truth is, people who actually do hold this kind of belief are selfish in a sense. I'm not saying selfish in a very, very bad way. I'm just saying that when they do good things, they kind of expect the good to come back to them. So in essence, they're kind of doing the good thing for others so that they can benefit from it. And this isn't inherently bad because the person is still doing good. But however, this kind of mindset prevents them from being an authentic person, and also, again, just like the second limiting belief, prevents them from having self-growth. If every single interaction is transactional, then things are not authentic and it doesn't feel fulfilling. You'll always feel like there's some kind of void missing. You may be keeping tabs, you may be remembering, oh, I did this favor for this person, why aren't they helping me back? Or you may feel bitter for no reason, when in reality things aren't that complicated. Don't get caught up in the little things, just move on. And you should always give without the expectation of receiving something back, because when you truly feel the desire to help somebody, and if you're truly a good person, nothing should feel transactional. It should just be unconditional giving. So that one's just a super, super simple limiting belief that I see that some people have. And the reason why I put this limiting belief in this video is because I see a few people very close to me who have this kind of belief, and I just see how much stress it brings them. For example, someone close to me did a favor for somebody literally like 5 years ago, and even now they still get all anxious and disturbed whenever they see this person's name, because they're like, oh, I helped this person so much 5 years ago and they never even said thank you or whatever. But honestly, if you're holding on to something like that, it's still making your life worse when you hold grudges. And second of all, when you help them, it should have been unconditional to begin with. You shouldn't have expected them to give you something back in return. So this kind of limiting belief just hits home for people close to me, and it just, see it impacting their lives. So I hope that, if this does resonate with you or speak to you, or if you catch yourself thinking like that you think about it and kind of work on this belief and let it go. So guys, that's it for my talk of the 3 limiting beliefs that we should all leave behind in 2020. And we're all hoping for a better 2021 because, like I said, we have no idea how the year is going to be. It could be way better than 2020. It could be way worse than 2020. Aliens could come. There could be natural disasters. I don't want to jinx it, but whatever happens, remember that the things that you can't control are your mindset. So always work on that first and work on yourself before you try to fix the world or all that stuff. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you found this content valuable and helpful, please hit the like button and also the subscribe button. I'll never learn how to make heart on the spot. And also comment down below, what is one limiting belief that you have or you used to have, and how do you plan to, or how did you overcome it? And I look forward to hearing all about it. Thanks guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.